Okay, so Dr. Ken, thank you so much for agree to share with us.
Mm.
It's a free conversation. Whatever you want to talk, just share it with us. And for the audience, I'm sure that you know most of them. And if you have any questions, you can chat in the chat box or just raise your hands so that we can address it. So it's over to you, Dr. Ken.
Okay, so just to reiterate on what I've said, when you finish this summer, when it's October, you want to be smaller, lighter than you are now. So you need a scale so you can weigh yourself. You don't want to be fat in October. It's okay to be, if you're fat in May, it means that you had a good ski season. But if you're fat in October, that's not a good thing. So you want to be small in October, and you also want to be strong in October. So training in a way that achieves those two things, watching your diet, watching how much food you eat, how much beer you drink, and making sure that you get out there, you do lots of biking up hills, squats and lunges, working in the gym. Make that your goal for October, so that you can finish, so that you can start next ski season light and strong. That's the basis. So ask me some questions. I know some of you have level 3, some of you have level 2. So ask me some questions, talk to me, technical questions, or maybe some strategy questions as to how to approach training so that you can achieve the next level of certification. That would be great for me. So go ahead, ask questions.
Alice, I think you got questions regarding short term, right? Please unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry. Hi, Ling, I have a question about regarding short term for Dr. Ken. Dr. Ken, what is a good approach to improve short term? From the hockey start type short term to which I can do start from the first act for short term.
Yeah.
And do you have any recommended drills? Just general point of view, recommended drills to improve it that way. Yeah,
that's a great question. Short turns are so difficult to do, and you need to train very specifically to do short turns successfully. Braquage, being able to go like this with your feet and your legs underneath your pelvis is critical. And the next greatest exercise ever is power plows. So power plows are so good because when you do a power plow, you've got your skis in this configuration, and because the skis are in a wedge, the legs are turned against the pelvis, and that stretches and strengthens that connection between your femur here, and your pelvis right here, right in there. And when you can stretch that connection so that you can turn your leg this way without the pelvis going around, this is the most important thing. So I'm going to give you some exercises. Spies, braquage, power plows, hockey stops. These things are perfect for stretching that. And if you go skiing, if you do snowplow, and if you go a whole run, keeping your skis in a wedge like this, and you get to the bottom of the run, and you're so sore from standing with your skis like this here, you're so sore in here from standing like that, then you've done a great job. So keep working like that, because the better you are at turning the leg this way without the hip going with the leg, then the better you are at short turns. And that's That's my answer. And doing these drills and doing these drills and doing these drills, training your body on the feelings associated with these kinds of approaches are going to make you great at short turns and also improve your bump skiing.
Yeah, I think those drills will train my muscles, right? Between the
Yes.
pivot and the femur. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. You have to remember that in a short turn, you're not making the ski go like this. You're making the ski go like this here.
Yes.
So the skis are turning in a short turn. So it's different than a carve. That's a carve turn. This is a short turn here. And so any movement, as I mentioned, those exercises, any movement that teaches you to go like that with your skis without your hip going as well. So if you're doing this with the ski, perfect. You don't want to go here. You don't want to go like that. So it's there with the ski, not there. And that's the key to developing strong short turns.
Understand. Thank you very much.
Ken,
Yes.
when you're doing power plow, your skis are they like this or like this? Because you can do a power plow like this or like this.
No, it's, you know what, Kevin, that's a good question. You're trying to go like this. You're trying to go like this, but it might end up, because of the turn, because you're going through a turn, it might end up more like that. But the effort that you're trying to make is that effort. Okay. And sometimes, yeah, you might have, if you can have the outside ski on, let's say, a 20-degree angle and the inside ski less, more flat, that's okay. As long as the skis are converging or going together like this, then you're okay. Then you're getting the benefit of the exercise. You lose the benefit of the exercise if your skis go there. Then you've lost the benefit of the power plow. So, if this ski has a steeper angle on the snow than that ski, that's okay, as long as the skis are in a wedge this way. And then you're getting the benefit in the pelvis, in the hip sockets.
Ken?
Yes.
When I do the power plow, sometimes my upper body is very straight. So sometimes like that. But when we do a normal short turn, the upper body will be a little bit forward, right? How to fix that in power plow? Because sometimes when I do the power plow, the hip joint is getting the upper body straight automatically.
The best way to fix it, Alex, is to practice doing power plows with hands on the outside knee. Because that's what you want to do. You want to go in a power plow, but still move the body to the ski this way. So you can combine that, a power plow exercise like this, with the hands on the outside knee, so that you train your body to not only to turn the leg, but also to move the body to the ski that has been turned. And if you combine those two exercises, you'll train your body to move in that way. And the beauty of that is that it hurts so much to do that.
So if I move the body to that way, my core muscle have to think about that and then move that by myself that. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not just relax.
Yes, you train your body that way. Yeah, you're training your body by making the correct moves. I want to talk about angulation, because the last time I spoke to Lynn, she had such an interesting conversation with me regarding angulation and regarding when angulation happens in a turn. And my answer to her question, to the conversation, was it depends on what type of turn you're doing, what the terrain is like, what the skis that you're skiing on are like, and also what your objective is. What are you trying to do when you go through the turn? And I've got the Science and Skiing book here. You guys recognize that. And I just wanted to show you a couple of pictures here. That's the first one. That's Russ. That's Russ, a great skier. Okay, can you guys see that? That's a great picture. And you see that in this picture, Russ has the skis turned a lot and the shoulders coming this way. So there's a lot of turning of the ski here with the shoulders coming that way. So, and you look at that picture, this angulated position that Russ is showing in this picture is happening at the end of the turn. You can see that he's planted the outside pole, and this strong position of angulation is happening at the end of his turn, okay? And it's a short radius turn. I can look at that picture. I know that it's a short radius turn. Now let me show you another picture. Here, there's a great picture. Here's a great picture right here. A really good skier coming through a turn like this. And you can see that the direction that the skis are going is more similar to the direction that the shoulders are going. This is a beautiful angulated position, very strong position, but this position is not happening at the end of the turn. This position is happening more in the fall line. And this turn here, you would say this is more of a carved turn than what Russ was showing, which was more of a short radius turn. So here, maximum angulation, more in the fall line. And the first picture with Russ, maximum angulation happening more at the turn completion. So can you see that? So the answer to that question of when do we get the most angulation in a ski turn, the answer is it depends. What is the skier trying to do? What is the shape of the turn? What skis is the skier on? What steepness is the slope? What radius of turn? How fast is the skier going? So what our job is as skiers is to develop all the moves, develop the ability to go like that with the skis, develop the ability to go like this with the skis, and then apply the correct move for the situation and for what you're trying to achieve in terms of turn shape, and then you are a true expert skier. This is the correct approach. This is why within the CSIA, we talk about developing skills. Because once you have the skills, then you can apply the correct move for the situation and for what you're trying to achieve. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know if you were aware of the conversation that I had with Lynn a couple of days ago, but hopefully that makes sense to you guys.
Hi, Dr. Ken. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I have a question related to that one. This is Vincent. First, thank you very much for spending your time answering our questions.
Oh, thank you.
For the curved turns, right? For the curved turns, at the fall line, you reach the maximum angulation, and the edging is at the maximum at the same time or something. What do you think?
Did you say energy?
How about the ski edging? Edging at that point, and you reach maximum at the same time or different times?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. If you're doing carved turns and the terrain is quite flat, not too steep, then and you're a good skier, then maximum edge angle is around the fall line.
Okay.
Okay.
So after that, it starts
after the fall line, the ski then starts to come flat again, flat so that the ski can pass underneath the body. And then you start the new turn. So if you are a pretty good skier and you're skiing on green terrain and you're carving, maximum edge angle is in the fall line. Now, if you are an amazing skier, like a World Cup ski racer, they can go down very steep runs and get maximum edge angle near the fall line because they are amazing skiers. For us, as the skill level drops, as the terrain gets steeper, then the maximum edge angle starts to happen below the fall line. So yeah, the question is very much relative to how good a skier you are, how steep the terrain is, and also what kind of skis are you on? Are you on a very a big side cut ski, or are you on more of a straight ski? So
how about the bigger side cut ski, like a 12 meters radius, like really short term skis?
Yeah,
and
a 12
icy conditions.
Yeah, a 12-meter ski. Yeah, a 12-meter ski, you're going to get the maximum edge angle high in the turn if you're a good skier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
because
you're a good skier.
I had this question because I remember in the past some ski instructors, like pretty good ski instructors, they said I should keep hold on the angulation almost to the end of the turn, almost like if it is a clock, almost reach 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Then I start to release the ski. So,
yeah.
But I don't know, is that something, maybe that's for some training purpose or that's for real skiing?
You know, again, it's situational. If you're trying to ski expert turns, but it's quite steep, then your angulation and maximum edge angle is going to happen below the fall line. If you're carving and the terrain is quite flat, then you want edge angle higher up in the turn around the fall line. So it depends on the situation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends a little bit on the situation and also on your skill level. So again, if you're a very skilled skier, then you get maximum angulation, maximum edge angle, higher up in the turn.
Okay. Then start to releasing, and as the transition, put the skis flat, then go to the other way, right? Okay.
Yeah, if you can imagine when the ski passes underneath the body, it's flat. And so the ski is pretty flat when it passes, or when the body and the skis do the crossover, the ski is flat. And then and then that happens again the other way on the next turn. So between this flat ski and that next turn, flat ski, the ski has to go here, up on its side like this, up on its side, and then around this way and return to flat. So yes, so generally speaking, it's in between those two flat sections that the ski should be at its steepest angle, and that's somewhere around the fall line.
Okay.
That's the theory.
One last question. So when I put ski on edge, I put it on edge gradually. It's progressing, don't go too fast. But when I release the ski, I release much faster than I put ski on edge. Is that the usual case?
You know, I think it feels like that.
Okay.
That's a very good question, because I've asked this question to other good skiers. It feels fast going through the end of the turn. I think it's because through the end of the turn, the body is coming down to the ski, and you get some pressure there through the end of the turn, and the ski feels like it goes fast through the end of the turn. It's a very good point. And then, you know, the feeling, if the ski is not clean, meaning if the ski slips a little bit through the end of the turn, then it feels like the ski slows down. So I'll say this, a clean ski and a clean transition feels fast. It feels like the ski is operating quickly on the snow. So I know exactly what you're talking about. This is a very good point, a very good subject to bring up.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hi. So on a somewhat related subject, I've also heard that there's another thing that instead of starting to flattening your skis after the fall line, that you would keep the ski angle. And until the end of the turn, you should actually increase the angle a little bit and sort of give the ski the power to bounce across or under you.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Again, it depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what you're trying to achieve. So how do you want to exit the turn?
Mm-hmm.
How far across the hill do you want to move the mass? So yeah, you think about that in a race course, for example. If I'm skiing down and the gates are like this, and I come around one gate and I need to get the ski to carry me very far over to the other gate, I'm gonna hold that edge longer to keep the ski biting and carving and working so that I can transfer my mass further across the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it depends. What am I trying to do with the skis and with my mass when I'm using the skis as a tool on the snow? So again, you can, when you go like this to the ski through the end of the turn, then your body takes that line. If I hold the ski up longer, then my body takes that line more across. So in this case, if I hold the ski like this, I'm trying to go that way. If I let the ski go more here, then I'm trying to go more that way down the hill. So again, it is dependent. There's no right or wrong way, but if you can do both, if you are master of your skills and of your ski equipment, can do both, then you are prepared for any situation. And that's what we want to develop as great skiers.
Okay, thank you. Also, another question. That's because I ski at Tremblant for reference, and most of the time it's the Eastern hardpack conditions.
Yeah.
And the thing I found is, on the icy days, I would try to crank my knees in to get the last few degrees for the ski to hold. And at the end of the day, I would feel a lot of pain in my knees. But I just want to know, is there any way to ski hard packs without too much stress on my knees? Because I want to be skiing, say, 10 or 20 years from now still.
Yeah, this is a great question. This is a great question. First of all, if you're skiing hard pack snow, you want to be skiing it on skis that aren't too wide. So here, I've got my ski boot here. There's my ski boot. There's my ski boot. If my ski is wider than the ski boot, if the ski edge is going off to the side, and when I tip the ski off onto its side this way, if the edge is out here, then the ski is always trying to flatten on hard snow. And I'll spend the whole day trying to hold the ski on its side using my knee. And at the end of the day, this part of my knee, the inside of my knee here, is so sore from trying to hold the ski up on its side. So first things is make sure that your skis aren't too wide. You know, if I'm skiing on hard snow, I'm skiing on a ski that's definitely no wider than 75 underfoot. And usually I'm more around 70 millimeters underfoot. And that takes some pressure off the knee. Second thing is you need to learn to ski with being able to turn from the lower body underneath your pelvis. And then what applies grip to the ski is bending at the waist in order to put your weight on the outside ski. So when you're skiing hard snow, it's not edge angle that gives you grip, it's friction that gives you grip, and increasing the friction or the friction, the relationship between the ski and the surface of the snow by putting your body weight onto that outside ski. So again, it's not edging that gives you grip, it's turning from the lower body and then angulating that gives you the grip. And so it's a funny one, but if you want to grip really well on hard snow, then learn how to turn effectively from the lower body. This is the key. And very often, well, not very often, always, if you try and drive your knees into the hill in order to get the skis to grip, then what happens is your pelvis, your pelvis here will come around as you drive your knees inside. And if the pelvis comes around when the knees move inside and the skis come up like this, you reduce grip on the snow and you put more strain on your knee. So practice braquage, practice spice, practice power plows. These are the exercises that develop lower body turning, and then your grip will be increased and the strain on your knees will be decreased.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Dr.
Yeah.
Ken. So I just want to ask a follow-up question. Talking
Yeah.
about ski, I do have a very stiff ski when I ski in Whistler. But when it's a Fisher RC4, I think I misled by a friend of mine that you know him well. But I got the ski when I ski in Whistler, it seems good. But when I took it back to Ontario and skiing on those hard snow, I found that I wasn't able to get enough pressure on it, and I wasn't able to take that. Is it because of a different snow condition? I found that Whistler have a deeper. The snow is really good, so I can bend the ski and engage it in a certain way. But when I take it back to Ontario, it seems to become a challenge. I found that it's running too fast that I couldn't manage.
Yeah. It's again, Lynn, it's when the snow is hard, the precision required to make the ski grip becomes a much finer precision. So you can ski on beautiful snow here in Whistler that's groomed and grippy, and then you can ski with a little bit of rotation and the ski still holds and steers for you. But when you ski on hard snow, it's just the very tip of the edge of the ski that is connected to the snow. So if there's any mistake that you make up high in the body, the ski slips away. So it's like the requirements of ice or hard snow is like walking a much finer line of balance. So again, the way that you're going to find grip in the East, in Ontario or Quebec, on really hard snow is to learn to do this with the legs and with the skis without doing that with your hip. Because every time the hip comes around, if you move your hip like this, as you turn your skis this way, the rotation of the hip moves the weight away from the outside ski, and then the ski will slip away from you on hard snow. So it's not that you're skiing worse on hard snow in Ontario or Quebec. It's just that the consequences of your moves are more magnified. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense for me. I do feel that I'm a spoiled kid by Whistler.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know what's great? You know what's great? I was just going to say, because the different snow conditions develop different things for skiers. And so it's great, you can ski in Ontario or Quebec and you ski hard snow, and that teaches you something very specific and very valuable. And then you come west and you ski powder, and you have different movement pattern in order to find success in the powder, in terms of where you locate your feet in the powder so that the ski moves smoothly through that kind of snow, and that teaches you something in addition. And so your goal as a skier is to be adaptable, find success on hard snow, find success in powder, so that whatever you're faced with, you know exactly how to adjust your moves in order to find success. So philosophically, there's no such thing as bad snow. There's only opportunities when we ski, opportunities to develop new things in our skiing. So we're very lucky. If we ski snow that's steep and hard, icy, we learn something special. When we ski powder snow, we learn something special. We're lucky.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Dr. Ken. I saw that Richard is raising his hands. And you know, for the guests, if you have ever skied with Dr. Ken, just go ahead and ask questions. But if I never done so, please introduce yourself, where you are and which level you are, so that the Q&A can be more targeted or more focused. So go ahead, Richard.
Hello, it's Richard, CSIA, and I've been level 2 probably for more than 20 years.
Wow.
Never had the time to advance to level 3.
Yeah.
The question I have for you is related to balance, our sense of balance,
Mm-hmm.
the perception of gravity. Recently, I was reading and I came upon a research paper, and they were analyzing the way our brain works to establish the reference point in terms of the vertical. It's visual as well as, I think, something inside our inner ear.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that when our head is held vertical, straight up, our sense of gravity is most acute.
Mm.
Our head starts to tilt away from that vertical, then our sense of gravity and where vertical is, we start to deteriorate. If you're lying down, for example, our sense of vertical becomes less sensitive and can get confused. So while I was thinking that, I was wondering, what's your perception or what's your perspective on this? And how does it affect us on very steep slope when our skis are held like this, down a slope like this, and our head is actually tilted forward? We always seem to have trouble with very steep slopes in adjusting.
I don't have trouble on steep slopes.
Okay. So is it training?
You know, imagine if you're riding your bike and you go around a corner on your bike, and when you go around the corner, you keep your body, your upper body and your head vertical like this. Then you can go around the corner on your bike and you can make a nice turn this way and around the corner, and then you can come out of the turn. You're aware of balance, you're aware of the pull of gravity, and you're in a position to deal with the forces that are pulling you outside the turn as a result of the steering effort that you're using to go through the turn. Now, imagine if you're on that bike and you go around the turn, you turn the steering wheel like this, and you tip your head like that as you go around the turn. Now, I'm going to bet that there's a good chance when you turn the wheel like this and your head goes there, that you fall to the inside and maybe have a bad crash on your bike.
Yes.
The same thing applies for skiing. When you go through a turn skiing, you turn the skis this way here, you turn the skis like that. You want to keep your head fairly vertical so that you can be aware of the forces coming down gravitationally as well as the forces that are pulling you outside the turn. That gives you the awareness of balance and of the forces so that you can find success going through the turn and coming out the other side. If you make a turn like that, where you roll the ski like this, turn the legs, roll the ski, and then go here, then just like in our biking example, there's a good chance you're going to fall to the inside. Not only do you lose in skiing the awareness of the pull of gravity down this way, but you also, when you go like this, you lose the stability on that outside ski, and the ski wants to slip away from you. So that's, and you know, if you teach skiing, if any of us teach skiing, we know that when we're teaching snowplow to a beginner, if the beginner tries to make a turn by going like that with their head, then they fall to the inside and they end up on the snow, or the ski just tracks away very fast from underneath them. So you're reading the right stuff. This is very cool. And what this leads us to is the importance of turning from the lower body. Okay, so if I'm riding my bike and I've got the steering wheel of the bike, what is going to give me success when I go through that corner or go through that turn is turning the steering wheel like this with my hands, turning the steering wheel at the same time as keeping my head vertical or close to vertical. So I turn the steering wheel of the bike, I keep my head vertical, and that allows me to go through the turn on my bike, stay in balance, and also maintain awareness of the pull of gravity down, as well as the pull of the forces that way outside the turn. So it's very interesting what you bring up. And we say what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So does this put us off balance, or does an inability to go like that force us to go this way? In the end, what you want to develop as a skier is you want to develop the ability to turn your steering wheel. In this case, it's our lower body, turn our steering wheel like that while maintaining a quiet upper body this way. Those two things combined give us a sensory balance as well as actual grip and balance. Does that answer your question or your observation?
Yes, it does. In terms of biking, bicycles, or in terms of motorcycles, as you're going fast around a corner, you know, the motorcyclist try to maintain the vertical alignment of his head or in his body, and that actually produces an angulation.
Correct, that's angulation.
That's angulation.
Yes.
And so when we talk about angulation, then angulation is also related to trying to keep our body and our head vertical.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, correct. And then, is that Leo?
Leo, we can't hear you. You need to.
Hi, here. How are you?
It's Leo. How are you, Leo?
Good, good. How are you? I miss you. Where are you?
I miss you too. I'm in Whistler.
Cool.
Where are you?
Yes. Beijing.
Okay.
At home.
Okay. That's good to see you. You look good, Leo. You look fit.
Yeah, I'm hard. Yeah, I'm still strong. I'm working very hard every day.
That's good.
You know, I mentioned I was misled by someone to get that RC4 Fisher ski. It was Leo. Okay. You know, it has been 2 years. I was ask myself, how come he used that ski and they recommend that to me? And in terms of, you know, the strength, the muscle, the speed, I couldn't, you know, I should understand it doesn't apply to me. But, you know, Whistler has been so tolerant that I wasn't, you know, aware of that. But when I brought that pair of skis back to Wanlong or to to Ontario, suddenly I realized how wrong I was. Okay, so Leo, you need to buy back that skis.
Leo's not going to buy the
I don't
skis
know.
back.
No.
No. He says you need to train them better before you sell them to him.
Yeah.
Say you need 4 pairs of skis.
I found there are a lot of old friends now.
So, hey, I have a question, you guys. Did I answer that last question correctly? Was that okay? Does that explain it?
Is that for Richard?
Yeah, the last question about
you
keeping your head like this.
Yes, and you did answer it correctly. And there is a little bit of a probably should be a sidebar question, is that when you're a beginner, what happens actually when you execute a turn or when you're on deep slope, there is a tendency for the skier to tilt their head towards the mountain, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So they tilt their head towards the mountain. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking about whether a beginner skier hasn't quite developed the skill of trying to fight against the natural tendency of wanting to keep the head vertical, because when they try to keep the head vertical towards the mountain, they're actually doing the wrong thing. They actually need to fight that impulse and go the other way.
Well, think about it. When we are going through life, if I walk around a corner, I walk straight and then I go around the corner, and the first thing that turns when I go around the corner is my face, because I want to look at where I'm going. That's the first thing that turns. But in skiing, the first thing that has to turn is the feet and the legs, and then the last thing that goes is the head and the upper body. So when we're teaching beginner skiers, we need to teach them to unlearn instincts that they've developed since they were children, of looking where they're going versus pointing the feet and the legs to where they go, and then balancing this way to the outside. So we need to, when we're teaching beginner skiers, when we're teaching lots of skiers, is we need to change the way their brain is programmed. We need to develop new neural connections in their brain so that they can move in a different pattern when going through a turn compared to how they normally move going through a turn in the rest of their life. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So so it seems that we're talking about neuroscience. We're talking about getting a new neural connection for the change. That's really interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why we have exercises in skiing. This is why we do power plow, spice, braquage, whatever exercise, hands on the outside knee. We do these exercises until we retrain our brains to understand and naturally repeat those movements that we require to do an exercise successfully. So that's the whole idea. If you've watched the movie Karate Kid, we have wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And we just keep doing this until we are really good at karate. Skiing is the same. We do braquage, 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 braquage. We do this and do this and do this so that when we're doing short turns, our move is from the lower body and not from the upper body. And so that's the whole idea. We're trying to reconnect our brain so that we understand movement patterns in a more natural way that fit with our skiing. This is necessary for every sport, not just skiing. If you were to study karate or judo, martial arts, then you repeat and repeat and repeat the proper movement patterns so that you retrain your brain to know those movement patterns. That's the theory behind it. So really, skiing is like learning martial arts. It's the same thing exactly.
Yeah, Dr. Ken, I think you really remind me of a conversation in between Leo and his first trainer, Michael. And Leo has been progressed so fast, and he got his level 3, I think, in 3 years. But his trainer named Michael, and he got all the understanding and the mentality in place. But he said that because that he skied freestyle or on his own way for so many years, so it took him longer time to correct the understanding of the movement pattern.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I think Michael got his level 3 last year, but it's really took longer than Leo approached his level 3. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Lynn. That's exactly right. It's if you can develop the correct moves early. This is why children learn so fast. If a children learns the correct moves for skiing, even for language, then the child, when they grow up, they become experts. If a child learns English, if your daughter Lynn learns English at a young age, she speaks English perfectly, no accent, because she learned the language when she was just a ball of formless clay that could be molded to speak English perfectly. If you are Chinese, you speak Chinese and then you learn English when you're 30 years old, then you already have form, and it takes longer for the clay to be molded so that you can speak English perfectly. The same thing with sports, skiing. If you learn skiing when you're very young, or if you learn skiing the proper way from day one, then you can be molded into a way where you can ski correctly, quickly, like Leo has done. Leo didn't learn to ski young. He learned to ski in his 20s, and he learned so fast because he was formless. He was easy to mold so that he could achieve great success.
I learned ski when I was 22 years old. But, I got a problem. I got really good mark at the short term at level 4 exam, but I got a really, really bad mark at braquage, 4 or 4.3. I forgot, but the relationship between short term and braquage is it's very important. But I can understand that I got really bad mark and good mark at braquage and short radius.
Yeah, very interesting. The understanding, now level 4 is the most special level. This is the one that is that asks you to be a master of skiing. This is black belt here. It's asking you to be master of skiing. And so understanding with each of those 9 ski off disciplines, understanding what you want to show or what you need to show in each of those disciplines is the key to getting a high mark. So when we look at short radius turns on the level 4. We're looking to see that you can turn from the lower body, apply grip to the skis, and transfer your mass this way, back and forth across the. When we're looking at braquage, we're looking to see that you can turn from the lower body without applying edge, but just turn from the lower body, demonstrating separation and having more of a move this way down the hill versus a move that way across the hill. So the components, the ability to turn from the lower body is present in both braquage and short radius. The outcomes that we're looking for as examiners is different one to the other. So, you know, Leo, and for everyone watching out there, the level 4 is specific. And is that this can happen. You can be a great skier for short radius turns and get a good mark in your short turns, but maybe show a little too much rotation in your braquage, or maybe show a little too much edge grip in your braquage, and then your mark starts to go down. So yeah, it's the level 4 is a special thing. And you know, Leo, you are so good, amazing for starting skiing at 22 and then challenging the level 4 so quickly is unbelievable. I started skiing when I was 3. That's how old I was when I started skiing. And it still took me 5 years or 6 years to pass level 4. So what you're doing, what you've achieved so far is a very, very high level.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
But I can't ski now, so I even forgot the technique of skiing now. But I can remember the feeling if I go back to the slope. I can remember the technique very quickly, but now I even forgot the technique reference and how I turn my legs, how the angulation comes out, and yeah, I forgot almost most of the technique.
But it becomes
you know what?
It becomes your muscle memory, Leo.
Yeah, it becomes my muscle memory. Last year, last year I was ski at Valon only one time, and I feel my feet feel very sore, very sore because the boots are too hard. But I can still remember, my body can still remember the how to ski.
Yeah. Yeah, Leo, it would take you maybe 1 month of skiing, and you would be right back to where you were. It wouldn't. Your body doesn't forget.
I believe that is true because I still working hard at gym every day. I'm getting much stronger than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm still getting stronger now.
Yeah.
Ready for.
It would be so fast, Leo, like this. You'd be right back where you were. So fast.
So, yeah, I miss Whistler. Miss you.
I miss you too. It's so good to see you.
Russell Scott, Springboard. You got lots of access at Cat Skinner, at Springboard, Russell Scott, and Glacier. I remember that there's just before the level 4 exam, we practice power plow at Cat Skinner. It's a very, very steep terrain. And I feel my leg feel is broken. It's burning. My muscle feels is burning. We still keep practice again.
Yeah.
Well,
I like it.
I think Dr. Ken almost killed you.
Yeah, at Cat Skinner. I was doing the bumps long turn at Cat Skinner, and one of my onside ski, dropped off, and I hit the tree.
Yes, I filmed it.
I still keep the video.
Oh, show it to us. Show it to us. How to hit the tree by your bump. Right? So that's a strong technique, level 4 technique.
Hey, keep talking, you guys. I'll be right back.
That's because
yeah.
bumps too big, and it's very icy. So I lost one of my ski, my onside ski.
And after that, I think you change your DIN into the highest one that you won't lose it. Right?
I changed the DIN to 8.5 or 9. I forgot. But before that, my DIN is 7 or 6.5. So if you want training for level 4, I recommend you improve your DIN to a high level, 8 or 9. Depends on your speed and your weight.
Okay.
It's really very, very dangerous.
Well, I think before that, you need to have a strong muscle so that it can protect you from the tree. And also you need to stretch. You need to be able to stretch yourself, do all those exercises. You know, sometimes I said that Leo can do the 劈叉, 横叉, 竖叉, right? It's you need to be flexible enough to protect yourself from all the dangerous. So I can see from the audience saying that, well, we still remember the story, I killed Leo, it's come back. And someone was really concerned about that tree. How about that tree? Okay.
About that tree.
Okay, so I still see some questions in the audience talking about technical side. I know Instar raised his hands, but we are approaching the 1 hour timing boundary. So I think we will still have some interesting topic going on. And what's that? So Dr. Ken, so you mentioned about learning skiing at age of 3. That is why Leo sometimes want to kill himself and reburn so that he can learn ski at age 3. Okay. Yeah. We are not that enthusiastic. But for us, whoever starts skiing at age 40, do you feel that we have the chance to pass level 3?
Yeah, that's a great question, Lynn. You know, Esta, she passed level 3 at 68 or 69, and she learned to ski in her 40s, maybe 42. So this can be done. Now, I don't know that you can do level 4, learning to ski at 40, but level 3, yes, you can do that. It takes discipline. It takes training. It takes dedication year-round, summer and winter, in order to reach this goal if you learn to ski late, but it can be done. But so don't limit yourselves. Nobody should say, I can't do this because I started too old. That's not the right approach. You learn the moves. You learn to apply the moves in the right situations. You put miles in, you get good coaching, good guidance, and then you will pass level 3. I guarantee it. you can do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you help a lot of amazing girls like this, Alice, Asta, yeah. So on behalf of
Alice,
ladies, and it's an athlete, right? That lady who passed her level 3 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Asta.
Asta,
yeah.
Asta. So we're talking about the same lady. So would that be possible that we invite her as well to join the conversation? It's really inspiring story.
Yeah, next week.
Next week? Cool.
Yeah, next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get us to join the conversation.
Can we just say the same time next week and invite
Yeah, same
her?
time next week. Esther passed level 3 when she was 68 or 69, and Esther is like small, like my finger. She's tiny, tiny woman, and she passed it. And we did the bumps that day on staircase. If you know staircase at Blackcomb,
Yeah.
it's steep. The bumps were big, and Esther found success that day. So you can do it. All of you have no excuse. Well, age is no excuse. It can be done.
Yeah, I can see Lee smiling. She's so happy. And Alice is also happy. So, Dr. Ken, we really appreciate your time spent with us. I'm sure that there will be a lot of questions for you, and you really helped us a lot. We are happy, and just we hope to have this conversation going on, and we really appreciate that. I think Lee wants to say something, right?
No, in the chat window, Curtis asked a question.
We can't hear you clearly, Lee.
Oh, is it better? Like in the group chat window, Curtis asked a question. I don't know if you still have time for that.
Yeah, I know there's been some questions unanswered, but we can just save it for the next time. There's a limit, and yeah.
So everyone, shall we meet again next Friday? Do this again. I'll bring Esther as well. And we'll do all this again. I'll answer your questions, and we'll drink beer. That's my sponsor. My sponsor. We'll drink beer. We'll answer questions, and we'll have Esther. Esther's 70. She's 70 years old. She just passed level 3. Yeah, she just passed level 3 2 years ago. Level 3, a year and a half. Past level 3, and she's now 70 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
So no excuses.
So friends, let's get our beer ready and be prepared for the
And I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Next time. Can we save the question till next week? Because there's a time limitation.
All right.
Thank you. So let's get our beer ready for the next Friday happy hour with Dr. Ken.
Happy hour.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Ken.
Đi con bye luôn.
Thank you.
Bye.